Joseph was the son of Jacob, also called Israel. He was the 11th of 12 sons, born to Jacob's beloved wife Rachel. Jacob loved Joseph more than his other sons, which made his brothers jealous. Jacob gave Joseph a richly decorated coat. This gift made his brothers hate him even more. Joseph also had dreams that showed his future greatness. In one dream, his brothers' sheaves of grain bowed down to his. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed before him. When Joseph shared these dreams, his brothers grew furious. One day Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers while they tended sheep. When they saw him coming, they plotted against him. Some wanted to kill him, but Reuben, the eldest, suggested they throw him into a pit instead. Later, Judah proposed selling Joseph to passing traders. Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver to Midianite merchants who took him to Egypt. His brothers dipped his coat in goat's blood and showed it to Jacob, who believed Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob mourned deeply for his son. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. God was with Joseph, and everything he did prospered. Potiphar noticed this and put Joseph in charge of his household. Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of trying to attack her after he refused her advances. Out of loyalty to God and his master, Joseph resisted temptation, but she lied and claimed Joseph tried to harm her. Potiphar believed his wife and had Joseph thrown into prison. Even in prison, God was with Joseph. The prison warden trusted him and put him in charge of all the other prisoners. Everything Joseph touched succeeded because God's favor was on him. 2 of Pharaoh's officials, the cupbearer and the baker, were also imprisoned. Both had troubling dreams. God gave Joseph the ability to interpret them. The cupbearer's dream meant he would be restored to his position in 3 days. The baker's dream meant he would be executed in 3 days. Both interpretations came true. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and mention him to Pharaoh, but when the cupbearer was released, he forgot Joseph. 2 full years passed. Then Pharaoh had 2 disturbing dreams. In one, 7 fat cows came out of the Nile, followed by 7 thin cows that ate the fat cows but remained thin. In the second dream, 7 healthy heads of grain were swallowed by 7 thin scorched heads. None of Pharaoh's wise men could interpret the dreams. Finally, the cupbearer remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about him. Pharaoh sent for Joseph immediately. Pharaoh asked Joseph if he could interpret dreams. Joseph replied that interpretation belonged to God. He explained that both dreams had the same meaning. Egypt would experience 7 years of great abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. The famine would be so bad that people would forget the years of plenty. Joseph advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to oversee the land during the 7 good years. He suggested storing up 1/5 of the harvest to prepare for the famine. Pharaoh and his officials were impressed. Pharaoh said there was no one as discerning and wise as Joseph. He appointed Joseph as governor over all of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. Joseph was given Pharaoh's signet ring, fine robes, and a gold chain. He rode in Pharaoh's chariot, and people shouted before him, "Make way." Joseph, once a prisoner, had now become ruler of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he took this position. Pharaoh gave him an Egyptian name, Zaphanath-Paneah, and a wife named Asenath, the daughter of a priest. For 7 years, the land produced abundantly. Joseph traveled throughout Egypt and stored up grain in large quantities, as much as the sand of the sea. He built storehouses in every city. During this time, Joseph and Asenath had 2 sons, Manasseh, meaning God has made me forget my hardship, and Ephraim, meaning God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering. After 7 years, the famine came, just as Joseph had said. It struck not only Egypt, but also the surrounding lands. People from all over came to Egypt to buy grain. Back in Canaan, Jacob and his sons were also affected by the famine. Hearing that Egypt had grain, Jacob sent 10 of his sons to buy food, keeping Benjamin, the youngest, at home. When Joseph's brothers arrived in Egypt, they bowed before him, fulfilling his earlier dreams. They did not recognize Joseph, though he recognized them. Joseph tested them. He accused them of being spies and kept Simeon in custody while sending the others back with grain. He demanded they return with Benjamin to prove their honesty. The famine grew worse, and Jacob eventually allowed Benjamin to go with his brothers. When they returned, Joseph hosted a meal for them, giving Benjamin 5 times more food than the others. Joseph then tested them again. He placed his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. When the brothers were accused of theft, they were terrified. Judah offered himself in Benjamin's place, showing his loyalty and repentance. Moved by their change of heart, Joseph could no longer hold back his emotions. He revealed himself, saying he was Joseph, their brother, whom they had sold into Egypt. His brothers were shocked and afraid, but Joseph comforted them. He told them not to be distressed, for God had used their actions to save lives. What they intended for harm, God intended for good. Joseph invited his entire family to live in Egypt, where he could provide for them during the famine. Pharaoh welcomed them and gave them the best land in Goshen. Jacob and his sons moved to Egypt, bringing all their families and possessions. Joseph was reunited with his father after many years, and Jacob's heart was filled with joy. Joseph managed the famine wisely, saving countless lives. His story is not only about rising to power, but also about forgiveness, faith, and God's providence. Joseph's journey shows that God is always with us, even in suffering. Patience leads to promotion. Forgiveness brings healing. What others mean for harm, God can turn for good. Faithfulness in small things prepares us for big responsibilities.